Welcome, everyone. We're back to the United Way podcast with Claire Ludes, and I have a new guest joining me today, Amanda Otto with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's just dive right in. Amanda, tell me a little bit about Big Brothers and Big Sisters and what all you do to guide your mission in the community.
So our agency has been in the Salina community for over 50 years. We started in 1968, so I guess we would be pushing 55, 56 years. We are a one-to-one mentoring program that offers support to youth who are in need of a trusted adult within their life, whatever that looks like. We are in the relationship business. We bring friends together for our youth to guide them on a path, to provide them with a plan, whether that they execute while they're in school now or maybe for their future plans outside of school. And so we do that through programs within the community, our community-based program, or we have different site-based programs that we host within the schools or various businesses in Salina.
Okay. And I know you've been with Big Brothers Big Sisters for a little while now. Can you kind of share with us some of the new things that have happened since you've taken over? Because I know you kind of had your main program with your bigs and littles, but you've added a lot to your organization, whether it's your workplace with businesses and those partnerships. Can you share a little bit about those with us?
Sure. So the mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters started with our core program, which is the community-based program. And I think that's one that most people are familiar with, where bigs and littles go out into the community on a weekly basis and do activities that interest both of them. Coming out of COVID, we all had to restructure and operate in a different manner.
Did we ever?
Yes. And so COVID allowed us to create some new programs to further our mission and serve more kids. And with that was the creation of our Beyond School Walls program, which is a workplace mentoring program that allows people to mentor during the day within their workplace. We launched that program last year with Vortex, and then we expanded this year in year 2 with Great Plains Manufacturing. And that program brings a curriculum base to it as well. So not only are they spending time with their mentor, but they're also learning those soft skills that a lot of kids come out of high school not having because of the technology and how it overtakes all of our lives.
Yes.
So this program kind of teaches them about conflict resolution, how to work well with others. There is a module in there about how to interview well, how to write a resume, all of those things that are really important when kids leave school and go to enter the workforce. Another program that we launched is called Corporate Bigs, and that is also a program that allows people to mentor during the day. There's kind of a common theme here because coming out of COVID, people use their time a little differently than what we did before the hand. And so these programs really meet people where they're at. And it takes strong business partnerships to be able to host these types of programs. And businesses that also want their employees to be involved in the community and really get out and do that social responsibility that they have. So with Corporate Bigs, our business partners allow their employees an hour a week to mentor within the schools. And so those folks go into the elementary schools and they get to visit their little for an hour a week there. So sometimes they'll eat lunch together, breakfast. Sometimes they'll work on schoolwork, play games. They've been known to be at recess, playing with the kids. So it just kind of depends on the kids' schedule and the adult schedule as well. But we've also found that those programs are an entry level into the community-based program because they're seeing it kind of gives them that kind of dipping their toe into the mentoring realm, and then they get to expand into the community-based program.
I feel like that is just a perfect segue to talk about volunteers and the needs that you guys have for volunteers, because it directly relates to what you all do. So can you kind of share, even go as far as your struggles with volunteers, because we know that that is a huge need right now.
For sure. Again, I'll reference COVID. Pre-COVID, our wait list was about 40 to 50 youth, and that was about the time that I came on at the agency. Post-COVID, when the kids were going back into the schools, our referrals just skyrocketed, and our wait list was around 120, 130 kids. And it's kind of stayed that way since then. And so instead of just doing things the same way, we had to get really, really innovative. And that's where, when I mentioned meeting people where they are, that has really seemed to work and to help recruit volunteers because they're not adding something else to their evening or their weekend. However, as I say that, the need for volunteers is still greater than it's ever been. The rate of the applications that come through for littles far exceeds the applications that we get for bigs or volunteers. So it's very critical, even though we talk about the growth that our agency has experienced in partnership with United Way. You know, being a funded partner really has helped drive some of that growth. But even though we have had that and we're able to serve more kids, the need is still as great as it's ever been. And really communicating with people that just giving an hour of your time, it makes a huge impact in the life of a child and also an adult. Whether we're talking about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or other nonprofits in the community, any type of volunteerism that can happen really makes a big impact. And if there's anybody that's thinking, oh, it's just an hour or two a week, what am I really making a difference? Yes, you are truly making a difference. And nobody should ever second guess whether their time is valuable or not, because it really does make a difference in our community.
Well, you are making my job easy because you open it up to my next question of mentioning being a funded partner. So Big Brothers Big Sisters was a funded partner when we used to be full funded partners, and then we made some changes and now we're back to funded partners. So can you talk about kind of that gap where funded partners wasn't around, and then us coming back to what that does and means for your organization?
Yes. When I came on to the agency, I was in that fun part, that transition part of losing the United Way funding. And so I saw the back end of that firsthand. And there was a lot of hard discussions that were had because we lost that funding. And basically what that means is we're not able to serve as many kids. We can't go out and recruit the volunteers, and we can't support those matches because we don't have the staff and we can't grow like we need to. So it was very refreshing to learn that the funded partners model was coming back, because the United Way has been very, very instrumental in the success and growth of Big Brothers, Big Sisters in our community. And to know that you're losing that funding really makes you rethink a lot of where your funding is going to come and how you're going to utilize your staff. The majority of our staff at Big Brothers Big Sisters is program staff. So we don't have, outside of myself, we have one staff person that helps with events and development. When I came on the agency, there was a lot of dual roles happening because of the loss of funding that was happening. And so we had program staff who was also being used for fundraising and all of the recruitment. So becoming a funded partner helped us get our program staff back to the mission and supporting the kids. And that's what we're here for. That's what we do. And really helped us prioritize where our staff time was going to make sure that we're using those dollars effectively. It also allowed us to grow our programs. Without the dollars from the United Way, we probably wouldn't have been able to launch a lot of the site-based programs that we had in the amount of time that we were able to do them. We launched 4 new site programs within a 12-month period, and my staff says that I'm crazy and that we're all crazy for doing that. But there was a need, and our wait list spoke to that, and we had to figure out how to meet the needs of those kids on the wait list.
Sure. Okay, as we wrap up, what's one thing you'd like our listeners to take away from this podcast?
To become a volunteer. If it means being a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters, absolutely. Give us a call, go on our website. We would be happy to answer any questions you have. If it's not with Big Brothers Big Sisters, volunteer for some agency or organization. It only is going to allow Salina to grow and be a better community.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thanks for having me.